Hi Capricorn Aquarius. We are going to check out October energies from the 1st to the 15th for you guys. And see if there's any messages coming through that you need to know. First things first, we're going to do an ancient Egyptian oracle. And you will have to forgive me because reading the book is like, the way they word some of the sentences just doesn't make sense to me, and then I read it funny. So we'll have to see how it goes. You guys have Horus. So, Horus, the son of Isis and Osiris. Horus is the god of travelers. He is the enemy of his uncle Set, who murdered his father. When he was born, his mother Isis hid him in a papyri swamp so that Set was unable to find him. He was brought up largely by his aunt, a goddess, Nephthys. Oh my gosh. Nephthys. So, there's a little bit more here. It says, this is a card of the perfectionist, someone who is rarely satisfied with what has been accomplished. He or she either makes a point of being late or has an obsession with being on time. Health is a matter of concern, and under no circumstances should such people be given a medical dictionary. Maybe a hypochondriac in some way. In their careers, they are likely to do quite well, often rising from a humble position because they stick to the rules of the game. They like to help people, but they tend to overanalyze situations. Okay, so a bit of a hypochondriac, maybe not just health, but with other situations where they're like overanalyzing whatever's going on at any particular time. Very obsessive. So, is that your energy, or is that somebody you're dealing with? Somebody who is rarely satisfied with what has been accomplished. So we're going to take a look at some tarot. And see what other messages come out. Okay. You guys have the Five of Pentacles. Okay, so to me right away this is a soulmate connection. So it feels like there definitely may be a feeling like someone isn't happy with the situation because maybe it's not the perfect situation right now. But I feel like the most important feeling from this card is that there's someone to share this with. So I've just watched this movie again for like the 100th time. I love it. It's called Into the Wild. Basically this guy like gives up everything and just goes out into the woods and wants to be away, like basically off grid, off everything. And I think it's the very last sentence he writes in his diary is that it isn't good unless it's shared, basically. It's like a really paraphrased thing. But anyways, basically life is nothing unless you can share it with other people. So even if it feels like it isn't super great at this time, I know and I feel like you're still sharing it with someone. And so that's like a really important energy to hold on to right now. I feel like that's a really important thing to say. And I'm getting goosies all over. So you have Eight of Pentacles next. And so I feel like definitely there needs to be some work done on this particular situation, probably a relationship. But it's basically where you kind of feel like things could be a lot better, but you just have to remember what you've already got here. And so there may need to be some kind of energy put into this to help fix it or make it better. And so if you are the one who's happy with the situation, then try and make it better. And if they're not happy with the situation, then I think they need to do the work here. Because they need to see that this is actually really good. And as you guys hold strong here, things get better. You're going from out of the cold feeling directly into a really warm setting. You might have to work for it a little bit, but it's much better than that out in the cold feeling. So keep that in mind. So next card is Princess of Wands. I feel like somebody could be waiting on you in some way or wondering about you at a distance. I'm just going to look at the Horus card again. Now, this is interesting because the first thing I see now in this, when I quickly read it again, is that Horus is brought up by his aunt. And I kind of feel like this Princess of Wands person could be the aunt energy. Maybe there's some help coming from that person. Maybe a job opportunity or maybe some kind of creative help. So like even whoever you were raised by, it doesn't have to be an aunt. Say you are raised by your mother and father. That person then, whoever raised you, would come to you with some kind of creative idea and something. Probably to help you get out of the situation or better your situation. I would be somewhat careful if that was like a doctor person or something like that. Only because I feel like maybe they're not quite a doctor, more of a quack. So just be careful of that. I don't know why, but I kind of get that energy from there. So now you have the Chariot. So this is definitely movement in a particular direction, and I feel like it's definitely a forward movement here. So like leaving the past behind or letting that out in the cold feeling go, something like that. It's more taking control and taking the reins of the situation. And it could be that feeling of not wanting to be late again. Or it could be a feeling of completely rushing out on this Princess of Wands energy. I want to feel like for the most part it's a positive thing, but I kind of feel like she could be adding something to the situation that isn't helpful. And so there would be a need to get away from that if necessary. Alright, So we're going to check out your angel therapy card. Okay, parents. The divine truth is that your parents eternally love you to the best of their ability. The angels are helping you heal from any pain associated with your mother or father. Okay, I find it very interesting that right over Horus goes the parents. So that was Isis and Osiris? No, let me double check. It was Osiris and... where are you now? Here you are, Horus. Yeah, Isis and Osiris. So, Isis is a benevolent goddess. So, Osiris is one of the oldest and best known gods. He's thought to have turned the earliest Egyptians from warlike tribes into sophisticated society. Okay, so there's something going on with, again, not necessarily... Oh, I just want to check out the aunt too. Because remember, it's not necessarily your parents, it's who raised you. So there's some kind of background issue about that. And her name was Nephthys. There she is. Oh, she was the wife of Set, and Set was the one who killed Osiris. So there is some family issues going on. And so it feels like aunt and mom are really close, and Osiris is either passed or he's... oh, there's something gone wrong about him because of Set. Maybe he was ostracized from the family, something like that. I also feel like with the parents over Horus, Horus was somebody who was never satisfied. It could be your parents that are not satisfied with the situation. And then it makes sense why that Princess of Wands came up to be whoever raised you. There's some issue with the family. And it's causing you maybe to feel like you need to compensate or work harder than they did, or possibly move away from them. But I can't really ignore that parents comes out again. So it's a very family-oriented issue that's going on. Could be brother and sister, like sister maybe princess and brother really has to work hard for his share or something like that. Maybe there's something about the grandparents getting quite a bit older now, and maybe they need to go to an old folks home. And so then there would be some kind of visit to them or something like that, and then the family gets together. Oh, Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving happens very soon in Canada, and then I think it's another month away from that. In the States. So it feels like, yeah, there could be a Thanksgiving type energy, you know how all the movies and stuff show everybody fights during Thanksgiving dinner, that kind of an energy. Oh, pardon me, I really needed a drink. But whatever happens, you have to remember that your parents do love you, your grandparents love you. They love you and your sisters and brothers equally. Your parents could be super hippie too. So that's an interesting way to look at it. So it looks good for some and it looks a little frustrating for others. So it depends where you fit into that situation and such. I guess if you're the one who's never happy about anything, then that's the way it's going to be. It's just not going to be great for you. But if that's not your energy, then it's probably someone in the family is going to cause some kind of scene and and just let it, I don't know, roll off, I guess, because everybody loves you and you're all good and they're all good and things get out of hand sometimes. Alright, take care, guys. I hope that helps. Oh, and if you're interested in a personal reading, all the information's down below. Take care, guys.